Hi, friends. Welcome to Talking with Famous People, and welcome to the Typology event of a lifetime. Before me, I have sitting a gentleman named C.J. O'Connell, who's been the eye of a hurricane of typological controversy that swirled around him regarding the location specifically of his NE and his TI, but they're from all other functions, of course, as well. So, without further ado, I'll begin typing CJ O'Connell. So, I usually begin these sessions by asking you, how many of my typing sessions have you seen before?
Oh man. Well, I've been watching you for years now, hanging around the community, but it's funny. I was just talking about it earlier a little bit on my stream. I was saying I've seen it a good amount, but the whole way through, not too many, but I've seen enough to where I do kind of know the deal. I'm gonna try to just empty my head, not be biased, right?
It was kind of a joke question anyway, but I just thought I'd see what you said. But okay, cool. The thing about watching the typing sessions, for me, I almost never watch them, even though I usually watch other kinds of videos I make. But
I watch
but occasionally, if I talk to somebody super fun to talk to, then I'll watch that one because it's entertaining on its own merits, besides just being an exercise in typing something correctly. Regardless, okay, so let's start with interfacing. So, can you describe to me the process of becoming popular as a I don't mean like on the internet. I mean like with
as
your
a concept.
Yeah, with your coworkers, with your neighbors, with your communities, your actual communities in real life.
Okay. So how you become popular? My rules for how to become popular. I mean, I'd say you want to start off. It's easy. I got to make sure to not think of functions, right? No, but you want to. I like to establish a good rapport. You know, it's like, so this is gonna have to start with try to be pleasant, I guess, right? And then you want to find some stuff to bond over, right? So be
Like glue?
something, right? Yeah. I mean, it's sometimes it's not easy, right? You got to find some commonality, though, I guess. So sometimes you got to start real small, though. It's like, oh, I see you like lawn gnomes. It's like me too, right? It's like, but hopefully you can get
like,
into something
hey, we both
deeper,
have skin.
right? Look at that. It's amazing, right? Listen, that's so amazing having skin. It's like, gotta make sure not get the sun to wear sunscreen. Am I right? No, but I try not to be too fake or forceful about it, but you want to establish some kind of something you can bond over, I guess, right?
Okay. So let's go recap the first two steps, right? The first step is general pleasantness. The second step is specifics to bond over. What's next?
Right. That's it. No, I don't know. I guess after that, so you're becoming popular, right? All right. Well, it's kind of funny because I almost want I almost want to say something ridiculous like demonstrate your worth or something like that, right? Because if you're going to become popular, right? So what would it be? I mean, that's very I don't want to use functions, but like that's very achievement focused, but like you want to try to
you and I both went to the same place after you said the first two things. You said general pleasantness, and then you said then you said specific things to bond over. My thought at that point, I hadn't thought about the question myself or the answer to it until that point. But at that point, my thought was be useful to people. So
right.
we both
Establish
arrived at
some kind of
utility,
utility, right?
there, huh?
Yeah.
Do you
Skill,
feel it's
utility.
acceptable? Do you believe it's acceptable for others to judge you on your utility?
I mean, well, I'm saying I would demonstrate my utility to them, or whatever I'm good at, right? So I would say that, sure, I suppose that's fair. I'm not necessarily looking for them. It's about me becoming popular, right? So it would be
Yeah, sure.
very
But
me focused.
you
Very,
know, you make
very,
an excellent point. You make an excellent point
yeah.
that
Well,
if you have such a clearly articulated scope of a goal, namely excludes things that don't link directly to popularity, then obviously embracing being useful to other people will cause you to, at least in worst case scenario, be used by more people, which could qualify as a kind of popularity.
right, yeah. Demonstrate value. It's like it's from Always Sunny. It's like the Dennis system, but but yeah, to become popular. I mean, yeah, demonstrate some kind of value. But is it fair for them to judge me on my utility? Well, wait, yeah, that's the thing. They're judging me on my utility of what I'm providing. So yeah, it's only fair if I'm going to be popular with them, right? Going to
Well, I
provide
mean,
something good.
but let me ask you this: Do
Okay.
you like people more when they're useful to you?
Right. Okay. So that's good. Um, I don't necessarily mind that a person's. I mean, useful. My definition of useful is like, can you have a good conversation with me? Pretty much. So
That's not
hopefully that's a
useful.
low-ish
That's
bar.
not being useful at all. That's
I
just
know, man.
the
I know you probably
alternative to
feel
being
that.
useful. No, I
Yeah,
mean it's just the
that's
alternative to being useful. Like, look, I'm being
yeah.
useful to you right now because I'm typing you, and also I'm doing it for free. By the way, everybody, I'm typing people again. If you didn't get that announcement before, it's $100. You get what you're watching right now, but it'll be less casual because I don't know you. Okay,
I've been around.
so I've been useful to you, but I don't think that I've been useful to you before, and yet you still seem to like at least watching my channel occasionally.
Oh, well, I mean, indirectly, you've certainly been useful in terms of understanding type. You've been instrumental. Uh, I don't want to go on a rabbit hole, right? But it's like, yeah, you were totally one of the first guys. And I was like, oh man, this is a hidden gem here, right? Like, I mean, not so hidden, but like respected, but not Frank James or whatever enough to where it's ridiculous amount of people. I like it this way. But I found a lot of value in I
Okay,
was
well,
like, all
my
right, this
point
guy.
is you don't like me because of my utility to you.
Oh, right. You've enamored yourself to me somehow beyond the utility, I guess. Yeah. I mean, sure, right? It's the atmosphere that counts, I guess. I don't know.
I guess
No,
what
it's
I'm
both.
getting at is that useful people get used, likable people get
Okay.
popular.
Right, right. Okay. The no, yeah. Well, I'm saying I think you're at an intersection of useful and likable. How about that, right?
All
Uh
right,
that's
fine.
you're
Well, I'm also
specialized
at the intersection
in
of
that way.
horribly unpopular and very unpopular. All right, let me ask you
I
more
don't know about that.
typology questions.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to get sidetracked into a fun conversation with CJ, which is very easy to have happen.
Yeah, we
Okay,
gotta
so
talk. Yeah.
all right, let me ask you this. Can you tell me how many steps would you break the task of pulling a bong rip into?
What? All right. Step one, pack the bong. Step two, light the weed with your mouth. Make sure your mouth is on the piece. And then I guess step 3, this is step 3A. No, yeah. Step 3A, you rip it. And step 3B, very important, pull out the piece
Carve it.
or whatever while you take a rip. Yeah.
Carve it is a quick way to say that. Okay, so
Carbs.
you think there's
Yeah.
you think 4 steps is optimal, or 3 steps with a 3B?
Yeah, I'm just being goofy. It could be whatever, 3, 4, yeah.
Okay, so
It's called 4.
when's the last time you figured out how to fix something that was broken? It could be physical or some computer difficulty or whatever. And walk me through your memories of the process of figuring that out.
Ooh, something being broken. Well, I mean, I was trying to get on here earlier and it was giving me a hard time, but that was like a login issue. I never have the kind of technical difficulties that require like, oh, looks like I have to take apart the TV. Like that would just never happen, you know? But like something stupid like that, like a login issue or something. Yeah, but I was also getting very frustrated actually earlier because I was like, oh man, I'm gonna miss the window, whatever, right? And oh my gosh. So my process of that was very not a process at all. It was trying to get on my phone. My phone was out of space, so I had to wait. I basically had to wait for my email to load. And then I was trying to get on the email. Basically, it was a mess. I was trying to log into my email from the laptop, and the password wasn't working. This is a really terrible example, but
No, this is
that was
great. What you're telling me, right? What one thing I would point out is revelatory about what you've done so far is you start to answer something in ways that aren't directly responsive to the question, but it's prefacing where the spot where you do directly address the question. So it's like I think he must have forgotten the question, but then you answer it.
yeah, I don't know. Because yeah, I do things like that, I guess,
Are those
It's
your
like,
2
oh,
posters
I'm
behind
getting
you?
something. What is it? Yeah, this posters. This is I'm at my parents' house, and so my dad was cool enough he puts up posters in the basement here, and there's Easy Rider, the movie, and then Miles Davis to my Easy Rider to my
Okay.
right, and Miles Davis to my left.
So
Amazing.
let's play pretend poster critic. You
Okay.
are the poster reviewer for the New York Times. Which of those 2
Yeah.
posters is better and why?
Oh, nice. Well,
Can you
it's like,
put the camera up a little higher so I can see both of them?
yeah, hold on. Yeah. I mean, okay, yeah, both at once is hopefully good enough.
Yeah, right
It's
there.
not amazing, but a pillow over there. But so you get, I mean, the Easy Rider one. I like the black and white vibe of the Miles Davis one, but I've never really listened to that much Miles Davis. I'm not gonna lie, but I've seen Easy Rider and I like it, even though I mean, whatever. It's sort of well made. I don't get me into that whole reviewing it, right? But yeah, just purely poster design. They're very similar. They're from the same kind of place. This place up in Maine, and the style is like practically the exact same. But I mean, I don't know. I almost want to say the black and white one because I like the simplicity. I'm a sucker for the black and white for the Miles Davis, I guess. But that's a difficult one because I'm biased in the way that I've seen Easy Rider. I don't know. I'm like really,
Okay,
really
so
thinking.
can you explain to me why
Yeah.
it is that you shouldn't include factors such as whether you've seen the movie or listened to that music. Can you explain to me why you shouldn't include those factors?
Why you shouldn't include those factors? I mean, oh right, to form like an objective judgment on the thing, right? I mean, I would, because it's like my having seen it or not is not necessarily informative of the quality, right, of the actual
Right.
poster.
And you've been tasked with telling us which is the better poster, not which poster you have a better relationship with.
Well, yeah, or even just what I don't know what the artists involved, like, do you like them more or anything like that? You know, you've asked about the poster, right? So
yeah, right. What do you think about the yellow and black? Why did it go with a Cliff Notes vibe?
Yeah, it's something about the yellow that I get, that there's something with the aesthetic. It doesn't offend me or anything, but I like the I get it. I guess it's sort of relevant to the vibe of the movie, kind of, but it's like there's a bit of this sunlit glow or something. But I don't know, man.
That yellow black thing, it screams 1967 through 1972 to me.
Right. That's like when the movie came out, and it's. I think that's the thing. It's something of its time. First, I guess yellow and black was all the rage, but they didn't. I'm not as huge on that. I think classic black and white, I'm more of a fan. I don't know. I mean,
what color yield sign?
I don't mind the color. I like the yellow and black. It's all right, but it's like caution. It's like caution tape or something, right?
What color are yield signs?
They're like red and white, right?
Red,
like a red
black,
triangle, and then in the white center. Yeah.
So they used to be yellow. They used to be yellow and black.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a long time ago. And sometimes you'll still see them as yellow and black in like emojis or in clip art or something. You'll still see them in yellow and black. Okay, so can you tell me explain to me the impact of Lutheranism on the Western world?
Lutheranism, amazing. I well, from what I know about it, I've actually been kind of like interested in Christianity and like religion in like recent years, and I still don't even know that much. But Lutheranism obviously comes from Martin Luther, who he was kind of most known for his whole screed against the church of the time, right? The whole thing, he nailed his 50 whatever, his whole list of complaints mostly to the door of the church or whatever. And he was I actually do know a bit about the guy himself and his character, his like personality. I guess he was pretty obsessive and like an interesting kind of weird guy. But the big thing was, I guess, the tithes. They would have the you'd pay indulgences to the church, and they'd basically absolve you of your sins, right, for your money. And he was like, no, that's wrong, right? It's like, that doesn't absolve anything. You're just giving money to the church. I mean, it's not bad, but I don't know if that's absolution, right? So he was kind of some people actually think of him as almost being like a heretic. Some people think a perfect thing, right? He's as like a hero. So I don't know, but I think he stands as being going against maybe certain crooked elements of the time, and the Lutheranism is like I think it's Protestant based, and it's like follows teachings. Yeah,
Protestant.
or the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. The other way around.
Yeah. Yeah. So he
Okay,
worked
cool.
off the Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Can you tell me who Martin Luther's dad's wife's husband was in relation to Martin Luther?
Right. Not like just Martin Luther's what is it, dad's wife's husband?
Yeah.
His grandfather.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, nice. Okay, good.
If
Yeah.
some grandfathers are clocks and some clocks have chimes, is it necessarily the case that some grandfathers have chimes?
That some do? Yeah, sure.
No. If some grandfathers are clocks and some clocks have
Wait, yeah,
chimes,
good.
if some grandfathers are clocks and some clocks have chimes, is it necessarily the case that some chimes that some grandfathers have chimes?
Wait.
I'll ask it again because I fucked it up. If some grandfathers
Yeah,
are
one more
clocks,
time.
if some grandfathers are clocks and some clocks have chimes, is it necessarily the case that some grandfathers have chimes?
I- some grandfathers are clocks and some clocks have chimes. So are some grandfathers do some grandfathers have chimes?
Right. That's the question.
Yeah, I think.
No, no. Because, like, for example, um, some
Like if the some thing is
some
like tripping me up. Yeah.
okay, like for example, some hot dogs taste good. Some things that taste good are oysters. Therefore, some hot dogs are oysters. No,
I mean, no, right.
it's the same structure.
Yeah, that's weird. That's
Let
interesting
me
though,
try some
because
more of
like
these
that.
questions. I'm gonna keep peppering you with TI questions. Let me just keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah.
Um, if Susie goes to Disneyland,
Mhm.
then Bobby will go to Six Flags. However, if Susie does not go to Disneyland, then Bobby will go to Disneyland. If and only if Susie does not go to Disneyland, then Bobby will go to Disneyland.
Okay.
And Darren will be at Six Flags only if Bobby's there.
Oh shit, we're throwing in Darren.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, oh. No,
Now,
wait. So Darren, I'm sorry. Can you
if
say the last part again?
I'm gonna say the whole thing over again. If Susie goes to
Yeah, yeah.
Disneyland, if Susie goes to Disneyland, then Bobby will go to Six Flags. If and only if Susie does not go to Disneyland, will Bobby go to Disneyland. Darren will only go to Six Flags if Bobby is going to Six Flags. If, in fact, Darren is at Six Flags, what do we know about Susie?
Oh my gosh, the Darren part is throwing me off, and I hear
I'm
my
going to
family
repeat the whole
upstairs.
thing. I'll
Okay.
repeat the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
If Susie goes to Disneyland, then Bobby will
Mhm.
go to Six Flags.
Yeah.
If and only if Susie does not go to Disneyland, Bobby will go to Disneyland.
Right. Okay.
Darren will only go to Six Flags if Bobby goes to Six Flags. If Darren's at Six Flags, what do we know about Susie?
Oh man, this kind of thing. If I could like write it down, I would get it immediately. But I'm floundering right now.
Can you
I
repeat
mean,
the question to me?
yeah. Like, let me try. So if Susie goes to Disneyland, Darren
Bobby.
goes to. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. If Susie goes to Disneyland, Bobby goes to Six Flags. You're saying if and only if Susie does not go to Disneyland, then Bobby goes to Disneyland. This is a multi-step process.
Correct.
So
Correct.
and if
Keep going.
Darren goes, so then if Darren goes to freaking
Darren will
again, here we
only
go.
go to Six Flags if Bobby goes to Six Flags.
Yes, Darren will only go to Six Flags if Bobby goes to Six Flags. So what? Then there was the final question was
If in
so
fact
what do we
Darren
know?
goes to Six Flags, what do we know about Susie?
That she's really pretty. No, I don't know. I'm joking. That Susie.
Go ahead.
No, that that she. I'm just like hazarding a guess. Like I don't know what she's not going to Six Flags.
Well, it is true that she's not going to Six Flags, but the answer is she is going to Disneyland.
Oh right, the freaking Six Flags, Disneyland. Yeah, whatever. Disneyland.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you another kind of that question. This time, I want you to pay attention to trying to be able to repeat back to me the question in full. Don't even tell me what the answer is.
That should be better. These ones kill me. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. If Speedy goes spelunking, then he'll need to buy ropes. If Speedy goes sailing, then he'll need to buy an anchor. Speedy either needs to buy rope or he needs to buy an anchor. What can we conclude?
Okay, so if Speedy goes spelunking, then he needs to buy a rope. If Speedy goes sailing, it's like a little song. If Speedy goes sailing, he needs to buy an anchor. And oh god, the last bit was like sail something about both the rope and the boat. What can we conclude? Close.
Yeah, Speedy needs to buy either rope or an anchor. Yeah. What can we conclude?
Yeah.
Either of well, yeah. So now repeat the whole question from the top to the end.
Okay. If Speedy buys a rope, then he needs to go spelunking.
No, that's backwards. If Speedy goes spelunking, then he needs to buy a rope.
Oh yeah, again. Speedy goes spelunking, then he needs to buy a rope. If Speedy goes sailing, then he needs to buy needs to buy an anchor. If Speedy buys a rope and an anchor, what can we conclude? Was it something like that?
No. The thing is, the third step of it is Speedy needs to buy either.
Oh, he needs to buy a rope and an anchor. So what can we conclude?
Either or, not and. Speedy needs to buy.
You said or a boat?
No, an anchor or an anchor.
I mean an anchor. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Let me ask you some more of these questions.
I'm butchering it. Yeah, go ahead.
This is interesting because you may be getting them wrong, but nevertheless, when I'm talking to you, you're demonstrating TI all the time by, for example, knowing whether or not you've answered the question asked. So let me ask you.
I don't know. I've been up all night.
I'm going to start with some. I'm going to start with some basicer ones so I get a baseline here. All right.
Sure.
Let's see. Okay. So if A equals B and if let me change this. Okay. Either A or B.
Okay.
If A, then C, and not C. I'll repeat it. Either A or B. If A, then C, and not C. Can you repeat the question back to me?
Oh, either A or B. If A, then C. Then not C. Something like that.
And not C.
And not C. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know
So
what you
you want
can
me
conclude? Do you know what you can conclude from that?
to so let me think. If A, I did either A or B. If A, then C, and not C. I mean, is it B?
Yes.
All right, good. Oh God, pass out. No, okay, yeah.
Okay. How about if there are two snail wobbles in a cornucopia and
Mm.
5 cornucopias per hedgerow, how many
Oh,
snail wobbles are there in a hedgerow?
can you repeat that?
If there are 2 snail wobbles in a cornucopia and there are 5 cornucopias in a hedgerow, how many snail wobbles are there in a hedgerow?
Choose now while in a cornucopia and there are 5. 10?
Correct.
Nice. Yeah. 10
Um,
snail wobbles. All right.
if Mary's the tallest of 3 parties
Mhm.
and Steve is taller than Bob, and Bob's not the shortest, and Mary's there too. In what order are they tallest to shortest?
It's just Mary's the tallest, then Steve, then Bob, right? Or Bob and Steve
No.
switched. I don't know, because the Steve thing seemed like almost like a red herring thing. You know what I mean?
If Steve is taller than Bob,
Steve
Bob
is
is not the
definitely taller
short.
than Bob. Okay. All right.
Bob is not the shortest,
But he's not the shortest.
and Mary's there too. What's their order? Tallest to shortest. Steve is taller than Bob. Bob is not the shortest. Mary's there too.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess it must be Mary, Bob, Steve. Then, yeah. Mary
No,
tallest, then Bob.
no. Steve is taller than Bob. Bob is not the shortest. Mary's there too.
You said Mary's the tallest, though.
No, I said Steve is taller than Bob.
Well,
I
no.
said Bob is
At the
not.
beginning, though, I'm going to call you on this one thing. At the beginning, you had said like Mary's the tallest of them all. That's why I'm saying that.
Did I? I'm pretty sure I did not.
I don't know. I think you
Well,
did. I'm not
let
trying
me
to
ask you a
gaslight
different question.
you.
Let me ask you another same kind of question. I'm gonna
Okay.
try this
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
If Paul is older than Dave,
Yeah.
and Dave is not the youngest, and Samantha is the third sibling, in what order are their ages?
Okay. Can you just repeat that one more time?
If Paul is older than Dave, and Dave is not the youngest, and Samantha is the third sibling, what is the order of the kids?
It's Paul is the oldest, then Samantha, then Bob.
There's no Bob in this one. It's just a Dave.
I mean, whatever the third one. Damn it!
No, you got that wrong too. It's
Oh my gosh.
if Paul is older than Dave,
Oh,
and
yeah,
Dave
Dave.
is
Okay.
not the youngest, then Samantha must be the youngest. Paul can't be, he's older than Dave. Dave can't
Yeah.
be because he's not the youngest.
There's nothing else. I know. I do. I admit I kind of hate these questions because they're always these kinds of
Okay,
ones.
well,
Do
you were interesting because even though you're getting these things wrong and struggling with them, I still feel confident there's zero chance possibility you're polar TI just from the conversation we're having. So I got to figure this out. I got to ask you more of
you
these
don't?
questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
is
I know. It's
my
just these kinds of brain teaser things are always. I always have to rack my brain a little bit. So you know what I mean? I don't know.
okay? Well,
Go
that's
ahead.
fine. But who is my sister's father's wife in relation to me?
Okay, those are a little better. I mean, it's like your sister's father's wife in relation to you. You said.
Yeah,
That's your mom. It's your mother.
right, correct. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to move away from TI questions now for a little bit, and I may revisit them again.
Okay.
But I have a working hypothesis here, and I'm going to try to explore it a bit. So let's
Okay.
engage in some extrovertedly intuitive fun. Okay, what
Okay.
we're going to do is we're going to build a scene. I'm going to first describe the beginning part of this scene. Then we're going to play
Hmm.
add a factor. You're going to add a factor to the scene. I'll add a factor. It could be a
Okay.
character, it could be a happening, or whatever. Okay.
Okay. Just anything.
Okay.
Playland.
I'll start by saying the scene as follows. The setting
Yeah.
is
Okay.
we are at Thanksgiving dinner, and who do I mean by we? I mean you and me are having Thanksgiving dinner at Rachel's parents' house.
Okay.
They've come back to Rachel's dad's house to have a family meal. While Rachel concurrently is having dinner with your family for Thanksgiving, and
Huh.
I am having to serve the food at a random stranger's house.
Wow. So it's all divvied up. Well, I guess then I'm just singing a song or something at the whatever. Where am I again?
Okay, I'll explain this scenario again, CJ.
Yeah.
It's Thanksgiving
We're
dinner.
all having. Yeah.
You and I have gone to have Thanksgiving dinner with Rachel's mom and dad. Rachel
Right.
has gone to have Thanksgiving dinner with your mom and dad,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll just leave it at that. Right? I realized I had done two different things with myself in the first version of that. Now it should be clear. You and
Okay.
I are at
Yeah,
Rachel's parents' house
we're
having
together.
Thanksgiving dinner across the
Mhm.
country, or I don't know, maybe you're over there too in the East Coast, but Rachel is
Yeah.
currently having Thanksgiving dinner with your parents.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you
Well,
add some factors to this story.
all right. So first of all, I know we're definitely collaborating on a performance that's going on at Rachel's parents' house. I don't know why we're doing some kind of song and dance routine, and then I guess we'll have to call in and FaceTime Rachel and my family, and we'll incorporate them somehow. We'll try to get everyone connected on some online magnet. Maybe we'll stream the whole thing. I don't know. Some
Okay.
elements.
I believe I already know your type.
Okay.
But,
I feel like I know that
I'm
was a
going to
little.
ask you more questions. I'm going to ask you more questions.
Okay.
Um, Tell me about your relationship with procrastination.
Mm, that's a sort of lifelong enemy of sorts. I wouldn't I definitely don't see it as good. But I mean, when I was a kid, I would always wait until the last minute to do any kind of project. which was stupid because, well, for obvious reasons, but because all that does is just sort of create a kind of anxiety about the situation. And then you wind up trying to get it done. And I don't even know that I actually perform well under pressure in that way. It was never a good thing. It would take me still a long time, and it would wind up, just be a mess. But then, I guess as I've gotten older, it's gotten a little bit better, but it's also I haven't had the same kinds of deadlines and things that I would have in school, for example. So, you know, you're gonna run into things when you do any kind of like work, but it's I don't really procrastinate as much as I don't know. I guess I still kind of procrastinate, but because I will put things off, and you know that with this and things with the stream and things like that too. Like, but I wouldn't call that really procrastinating, right? It's more like what I guess it's kind of what I can do tomorrow instead of now, or whatever that saying is.
Can
But
you
I don't
explain
know.
to me? Can you explain to me?
What's up, Rachel?
Can you explain to me, like, what I guess your thought process or your own explanation for why you stream so sporadically?
I mean, it's like in short, it's sort of this thing of like if I feel like it. But I was just talking about that too. Like apparently even when I was a kid, my mom would be like, "Yeah, you want to go to the park or whatever it is and this weekend?" I'd be like, "Yeah, if I feel like it." And it's like that's kind of almost been my motto, but at the same time though, it's not always something of like if I want to or not. It's like I was just talking about this too though. Like just put it simply, right? There'll be things like I don't really feel well or I don't really feel up to it. But then there are times where, for example, last night I went on your stream. Hope is this buffering? All right, it's fine, I think.
You're fine.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. Once I get a little bit of the energy going, a little bit of momentum, right? It's like, oh, like suddenly it's like, oh, I'm down to do this. So I've been saying you gotta kind of do uh for me, it's sort of like you got to do good to feel good, not exactly feel good to do good. Because if you wait, it's not going to happen for me, at least. So I wind up having to just do the thing, even if I don't necessarily feel like it. But that's a long way of basically saying that's somehow why I don't stream, why I stream sporadically. Like for a while, I really overindulged a little bit in the beginning. I was doing these crazy long streams and like I think that was a little bit ridiculous. But then I think now gotten once I take a break, I come back, I take a break, I come back, winds up I'm finding my balance a little bit. So that's I guess my answer, yeah.
Okay, can you tell me, the last time you went on vacation or took a trip or something, your favorite moment from that vacation or trip?
Well, I always go up to Maine with my family in the summer. Uh and so we did that last summer. And it's like I don't know if there was anything particularly like it was a nice trip, but there was nothing unbelievably remarkable. I don't know if you've ever been to Maine, but it's not exactly the most amazing, exciting place. It's more like chill, bit of a chill island experience. It's just like a chill kind of relaxation spot. So something stupid like well, actually, let me think for a sec, because we did. I mean, at the risk of just saying something super boring, well, we finished. This was a thing. It's had a bit of connection, right? It was like we finished watching, the show Freaks and Geeks. My sister just started her first year in college, And it was kind of that show. It's a very coming of age show. And we finally finished watching that. That was nice. I liked that because we finished watching that. It's the year she's going to college. It was nice, you know. So that I liked that. I was just a little cute,
Okay, all right,
whatever.
cool.
Watching.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Rachel to chat with you briefly while you're smoking the cigarette.
Sweet. Smoke. Enjoy your smoke break.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, CJ.
What's
Yeah, of
up,
course.
Rachel?
How's it
What
going?
up? Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. Okay. So I'll ask what I usually ask.
Cool.
What is it? What do you look for in? Okay, so what do you think are like good characteristics of a good partner, like a romantic partner, a coworker, and friends or family? Either one.
Like all you want me to do all of them?
Yeah. So first,
Like each one individually, because
yeah, each one individually.
switching up. Okay, yeah, nice. Oh man, well, pretty unique kinds of relationships, but I guess well, romantic relationship. It's just funny because there's obviously differences and similarities, but the like romantic relationship, I'd be like, I know it's corny, but it would be like this. I want that reciprocal talk and listen kind of thing. And to be honest, I don't even know if this is just something I tell myself, and you probably know this anyway from the stream and stuff, but I can be a bit talkative. So I would really appreciate someone being able to listen in that way. But also, I've noticed this, not that I've not had like a bunch of relationships or anything, but I have noticed though, it is important though that that she provide some conversation, you know. I don't want to just do all the talking and no listening, even if it is like affirmative. Like I wanted to have her own takes and things like that, you know. So like that would probably be, again, kind of lame, but that's probably the first thing, kind of a communication thing. And then I get very corny too, but yeah, just like communication and like connection, right? Like stuff to just bond over, like shared appreciation, share even like shared opinions would be kind of good. But I know what they say, opposites attract, right? You want to have a little bit of a challenge. That's cool. You know what I mean? Especially once you don't want it to get old. So it's nice to have a little bit of that thing of like being challenged a little bit. That's cool. But of course, especially in the beginning stages, you like that whole thing of like, me too, right? That's always good. But after a while, yeah, sure, you want to kind of find the healthy debate, not arguing though, right? I don't know, not necessarily trying to get into it too heavy. But yeah, so I mean, family in similar kind of thing in terms of being like supportive, or something like that. It's interesting to think of like this kind of deep question, right? Like it's like you would think I would have like thought about this stuff already, but no, it's a good question. Like coworkers though, that would be that's a bit more utilitarian if I'm being honest, right? Like it's like, can you help me get the job done? Like I obviously want to have good rapport and have the good vibes or whatever, right? But you know, please just help me to get a good job done or whatever, you know, whatever it is we're working on. Shared, depends on what it is. If it's a creative thing, shared vision, right? Kind of thing, whatever you want to call that. Shared sensibilities. But family is a deep one, right? That's like, I mean, family's like, I've been a bit spoiled in some ways to grow up with, like, again, being able to be listened to quite a bit and think out loud kind of thing, right? I mean, it's important to have that kind of freedom and to have that kind of just like support. Like the biggest thing I would think of with like family, interestingly, even though romantic is close to, I think of like support, right? Kind of crucial, or home base, things like that. Just to be able to, yeah, to be myself, things like that. Those would be the kinds of things that I would think of.
Can you
To
talk
be
to me
able to
about
be
your eating habits a little bit?
my eating habits are sort of sporadic. Like I just went a wicked long time, my Boston vibe. I just went a wicked long time not eating because I was sleeping, and then I uh I ate I was on the stream and I took a break, and I wound up eating, and I just like I had like a full freaking meal, and like and it was just yeah, but generally though, it's a little bit it's a little sporadic. It's like one meal a day, one meal a day and like a bunch of snacks. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And like unless I'm sleeping, maybe I'm sleeping for a long time or I tend to sleep a while if I it's also a weird schedule, but it's also um I indulge in it a bit or something, you know, sleep.
Are you more
Like I'll
likely
still
to
get
get
long hours just at weird times. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
are you more likely to get slangry or hangry?
Slangry?
That's angry because you haven't gotten enough sleep.
Oh, nice. That's a new one for me. I've not heard that. Okay. Oh man. Like watch that be the question that makes me pause for like 5 minutes. No. Um, I don't know. Hangry, that's like not a real thing to me. Like I don't know if I really get hangry that badly. But I could see slangry being more of a thing, I guess.
Okay. When you get
If
up
I'm gonna
after you slept, when you get up after you slept, whatever time that might be, do you
yeah.
assess yourself to determine if you've gotten enough sleep?
Oh well, I mean it's like enough sleep. It's like I mean, have um I don't do like micro sleep really. Like if I'm sleeping, and that's just because I'm afforded the whatever ability at home here with the family and everything. So it's like,
It's
you know,
because you're a fuck up like that.
right. No, of course. No, but it's like no joke. The whole thing of just being like, well, if I'm sleeping, I'm crashing, right? So it's like I ain't I'm not doing any like micro sleep or anything like that. You do that more than me actually. But like
You got no time for the summertime blues, is what you're saying.
exactly like the song goes, yeah. No, I just tend to crash for like I'm sleeping for 10 hours or not at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. It's a little it
Okay, can
sounds
you
extreme, but
describe to me?
kind of true.
Can you describe to me your what goes on in your head when you lie down into bed and are getting ready to go to sleep? Do you roll back and forth? Do you think about the day that just happened? Do you imagine something that might happen? Do you listen to music while you're going to sleep? Do you want to do you have a voice running in the background or what? Tell me about that.
Well, it's funny because it usually is a similar kind of thing. It's like I'm laying down to sleep, so I'm probably pretty tired. I'm probably gonna sleep pretty soon. But if I'm gonna do anything though, I go on YouTube a lot, right? So I'll be watching stuff. I'll be watching stuff. Maybe I listen to music on my speaker mostly here, so it's not sometimes a little bit of music, but I'll either be watching YouTube, or I'll be. I actually do a lot of like writing stuff down in my notes and things like that. But rarely, because I've just got the phone on me, I can't even remember the last time I just like laid in thought. Like I've always got the phone. So if I'm thinking stuff in my head, I'm like, I'll write this down or whatever it is.
Ow.
But if I'm like falling asleep, that's sort of a different, interesting thing going into dreams and that space. But no, I think that's it, right? I mean,
Do you remember
I don't
your
really do a
dreams
lot of
very well?
tossing and turning that much. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember your dreams very well?
The thing is, I actually do have pretty good dream recall because they tend to be like fairly vivid for whatever reason. I mean, uh yeah, I tend to have pretty good dream recall.
Can you recount
Uh
a dream that you remember having sometime in the last month or so to me?
um well, it's like, yeah, I guess the one that I can think of that most stands out was I had this like weird dream that I was this was a I want to do say this was a little bit of an out of character type of dream, but it was like fairly vivid because I was actually doing something that was kind of like beneficial and good. It was like I was working I was doing something where this makes me I know I didn't want to use any function terms, but I know it's gonna make me sound super FE or something, but it's like this was a special dream. That's why it stands out because it was pretty unique. I was like helping old people, and I was like it became like a job. And then it's because my sister had like a show. She was doing like this a cappella show with her group, and it was probably in my mind. And she was helping me. Then I was doing some group where I was helping some. It started, there was a weird political angle, but then it turned into like a chill vibe where there were these girls. I was like helping with some, this is embarrassing, but I was like helping with some like girls doing dance or something like that. But anyway, the dream end, which makes no sense either because I'm not Mr. Dance Guy either. So whatever. This was interesting, but the dream ended with me calling my mom and being like, "So I've got these two like jobs now, and I'm going to be getting paid for it." And for whatever reason, again, weirdly unlikely, because she would probably just be like, "Oh, I'm so happy you're actually doing something." She was like, "Oh, I don't." She was like, "That sounds like a lot of." She didn't say it exactly, but she was a little like, "Are you taking on a little too much or something like that?" And then I was just like, "No, it's good. Like I'm going to be getting paid for it. It's good." And then it ended. That was pretty. That stood out.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Amazing. Yeah.
so do you ever try to interpret your dreams as meaning something? Like my dream was telling
Sure.
me that I need to. Do you think the dreams have symbols that are universal that mean things? Like for example, if you go into a tunnel in your dream, does that mean really it's the vagina?
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, I don't. The thing is and again, my I didn't want to do this, but it's like the function bias stuff of like, and this is just my theory, what I interpret it to be, but I think of my dreams as being extremely, I'm sorry, but just like NESI, because I know that they're from stuff in my life and that I'm just making shit up that comes from the SI stuff. And then it's NE elaborating on it and coming up with fucking weird whatever. It's not, I feel like what you're describing, I don't do like the NISE stuff like, oh, I'm in a tunnel, so it's a vagina. Like I didn't, none of that. It's because it's almost never really that, I don't think. I've looked into dream meanings and things, you know, the NI of it or whatever, right? But it's usually just some bullshit that I'm making up from something that I experienced. Like the dream I just told you. I was clearly the thing with my sister, and then probably some weird hangups about being like beneficial or productive and whatever, right? and then being, oh, that would be really good if I was doing some good thing. And there you have it. It's a dream, a CJ original.
Did you pick the spot where you're sitting because you wanted to be between the two posters?
No, but it's a little aesthetically pleasing, I hope. Yeah. It's
So
it's just like
So
it.
can you identify what's wrong with the place you picked to sit down?
It's a Wes Anderson film. No, hold on. What do you mean? What's wrong with it? It's perfect.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's symmetrical and beautiful. No, I don't know.
Your back.
Oh yeah, well the lighting is not very good. It was that or have this terrible overhead light. Well, I don't like it. But yeah, the backlighting I suppose is not the best. My head's covering it. I just gotta make sure
sort of. Sort
I
of.
don't know. It's not great. Yeah.
Do you have aspirations of having children at some point in your life?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, eventually can get my stuff together a little bit and get out there and find me a woman. No, yeah, totally.
How many
At some
children would you
point.
like to have? How many children would you like to have at some point?
Yeah. I like to think of the whole classic boy and girl would be nice, right? Two kids, that would be nice.
Is that how it is in your family? You got a sister and you?
Yeah, it's true. It is how it is in my family, yeah.
And is your sister
And that's
older
actually
than
how
you?
it was in my mom's family as well, but not my dad's. He's like the youngest of a bunch of sisters. Go ahead though. Yeah, I don't know if you were
Your
gonna say
sister
something.
older or younger?
She's younger. She's actually 8 years younger than me.
Was she an accident?
No,
Or were you an accident?
it's sort of a personal thing, but yeah, I actually was. Isn't that amazing?
Okay.
My parents were fairly young. Whatever, they don't care. Whatever, right? I mean, yeah, they were fairly young and they decided, hey, they kept me, they got married. They're still together. It's pretty good. Knock on wood. They had my
They were
sister.
13 when they had you?
No. No, listen. They were like, my mom was 22 and my dad was 25.
That's plenty old to have kids.
Yeah, it's old enough. It's just I remember talking to like some people would be like, oh, like that's young because they've got parents who are like in their like later 60s and stuff, They're like my mom just turned 50 and my dad's 53. He's about to turn 53. So
How old are you?
So I'm 27. I just turned 27.
Okay. So because I just turned 52 and Delilah just turned 24.
Mhm.
So it's like,
yeah,
that's, I had Delilah not that much older than your parents were,
Yeah, it's like relatively young, but it's not. It's pretty normal, especially however many years ago people would be like, oh, that's when you're like supposed to have kids. Maybe not nowadays. Maybe
Well,
you know what I
I was
mean. The way things are now.
I was gonna
Sorry,
ask
what?
you. Sorry, I'll come to the mic. I was
Yeah,
gonna ask you. Do you think it's more common for people your age to get married later in life? Do you think that's happening?
Yeah, that's like a cultural thing. I would say that's something that's I feel like been happening. Like that's much more common. It's like a weird kind of what is it? Like 20 like 30 is the new 20. That's a little extreme, but it's like a little like that. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
It's
the borderline.
it's something that's weird with the dating and everything is bizarre these days. Sorry, what?
Here's the truth about generations. People under 45 love their phones. People over 45 hate their phones.
Really? Okay. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess my mom's a little different because she's kind of like she's definitely like ESFJ, like for sure. So she's kind of just like, well, I'm happy to whatever. She likes her phone. My dad's kind of tech savvy too. So like, I don't know, but they don't, it's definitely a different relationship though, right? I mean, they're not
I
spending
mean, the
all
thing
their
is, there's
time.
nothing I want to do on my phone that I wouldn't rather do on a laptop than the big screen TV. But there are certain things I
Oh
can
yeah,
only do.
yeah. I am still whatever in the weird limbo between generations where I definitely still would rather go on the laptop, and especially if I'm going to watch a movie or something. I never watch. Remember that thing, the David Lynch thing? It's like watching a movie on your telephone. I know you didn't like that, but it's true though. Like you want to watch it on the TV at least. I don't know. That's me though, but
So
it's
lazy
similar to
though.
what you're saying.
I'm addicted to my phone.
Rachel says she's addicted to her phone. I don't know if you can hear her from over there or not, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you.
So I watch pretty much like I watch pretty much anything on my phone. Does it bother me that the screen is smaller? Yeah, sure, but like
all the things you watch are things you watch, the things you listen to, like terror deck YouTube videos and stuff like that.
That's a
Okay,
little
I was
different than
going
like a movie. Yeah.
Oh no, I spelled my phone full of way. I spelled it
Oh
all
no,
over my
Tiffany is making a cameo. Oh no.
I was going
Oh
to
no.
ask you something. What was it? Uh, um, do you think driving for FedEx or UPS would be a good job for you? Think you'd enjoy that job?
Mm, I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't. I mean, would it be? I guess it'd be kind of chill, right? But it wouldn't. I don't know that I would really enjoy it. I don't know.
Do you like
I
to
mean, could I
drive?
see myself doing it? Well, it's like it's all right. It's just not like an ideal situation, like with at least for a job, like driving for a job. But I guess it could be kind of peaceful. But I mean, I don't think I would like derive that much enjoyment out of it. But I mean, I don't. It's possible, right?
Okay, let me talk to you about your relationship with the guitar. When did you first start playing the guitar?
Oh, I was like, so I guess. Oh man! All right, so I first started messing around with the guitar. I've been messing around with instruments like my whole life. So I would pick up my dad's guitar and play it like on my lap, like a blind man. And then as I grew up, obviously I started to learn, no, you flip you're supposed to play it like this. So I actually learned it upside down, which I don't know if you've caught in the stream when I've said that. And so it's a kind of weird thing. Some people do it, so I play a righty guitar lefty, and and upside down or whatever, right?
Oh, wait there.
Um,
You play a right-handed guitar, but you string it upside down?
it's, I mean, it's strong. It's strung normally is the thing, right? So it's a little limiting too, even, but I can still play it decently. Like, I mean, if you've caught,
Do you have
like,
a
I mean,
guitar
that's
within
all.
reach? Do you have a guitar within reach that you can hold it so I can see what you're talking about?
Yeah,
I cannot visualize what you're talking about.
yeah, yo, check it out. Hold on.
That's a cool Beatles poster. Bruce Scratch. He's
Oh,
got
yeah.
revolver there.
Yeah, revolver.
You get the low E is like on the bottom, right?
Uh-huh.
Right. Well, it's kind of not too bright, but you can see that, right? So like I'm
Right,
playing
now
with a
that's
ceiling, you know?
Now let me try to imitate you so I can
Yeah, it's a
get
weird thing.
some. Hold your guitar again. The way you hold it. All right, so I'm opposite direction of you. So let's see. You have you
have
hold it
this
like
stand up.
this. You hold it like this.
Yeah.
You play it like this.
Yeah.
So you fret with your right hand.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
It feels right, which is weird though, because I am a righty. But it feels better to do the fretwork with the right because it's a better
Well,
hand. I don't know.
I always thought that seemed more logical. That
That's
your
what
right
my
hand
dad said,
do-
but he's actually
do the
lefty,
top
but he
part.
learned righty.
Yeah, I've always
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
that the right hand logically should be the one that does this stuff because this stuff's more complicated and you're right-handed.
Thank
What
you.
I've learned, but what I've learned is this: that your right hand needs to be this part if you're right-handed, because this is where you get the rhythm. And actually, once you get the chords down, the rhythm's the hardest part, not the chording. But I think it's however you learn. I mean, both your hands are doing complicated things. They're both being very impressive things when you're playing the guitar. And there's no reason why it's not like either of them is so much easier than the other one that it really matters. It's just so unusual. The way I was just holding it, when I held it, it felt like that's how you hold it. It felt totally crazy to me. Like I had never even begun to dream of playing anything on it that way.
Yeah, it's a bit unusual. I mean, and it's bizarre because if I flip it to the normal way, I literally can't play at all. I mean, it's insane. Like trying to do a G chord. Sorry, what?
It's just what I was saying too. You change it around. Once you've learned it one way, you switch it the other way. You can't do it at all.
Right, it's the thing. So the reason I learned it that way was because, no joke, like one night when I was like 14 or something, like not even that young, right? I flipped it. I was like, all right, let's do this. Let's flip it. Let's bring it up normal and try doing it like this. And I learned some basic chords. It's been the same ever since. Now it's been over 10 years and I still play like that. And I tell myself like, oh, I'll learn it eventually. But the more that I play it like this, the better I get at playing it.
There's no going back. You already, once you've chosen that ski slope and skied down this far, there's no going back and choosing this ski slope.
That's the thing. It's messed up though, because like, I mean, I can't really do that great of like, it's like bar chord. I mean, I can do like this and that and go up the frets, but I can't be going up and down doing crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's too it doesn't sound right. I guess I could sort of learn it, but it would
it's also an acoustic guitar. I don't know. Why would you be going up and down doing crazy stuff on an acoustic guitar?
Well, an electric too, because I play in the same way, right? So it's like, you know, well, because you know, I'd like to be whatever, would be so dope, right? To be this virtuosic player or something. But it's like if I play this way though, I use the capo like constantly. Like you ever see me on the stream, like I'm using the capo constantly because that's like literally the only way that I can play it to sound. Luckily I can get the stuff to sound the way I want it to enough, right? But I'm actually almost better.
Talk to me about your creative process now when you're either like, do you have completed songs that you've written or not?
I used to write a lot more actual songs. And now I just have these like no, I don't mean to make light of it, but like just now all I have are these mentally ill scribblings of notes and things that resemble pieces, right? So I don't really I do occasion every like now and then I'll try to do a song, but like it's like it's been a long time because I tend to find like I don't know what it is. They're just when I start trying to write a song, like some of the stuff is a little bit boring or something. Like some of it's good, but like I think it's the way that I play. Like if I learned piano or something, maybe I could probably be better at like penning songs. But I used to do it a lot more, but then I just didn't really like most of the songs that I would come up with because I just felt like they were too basic. I don't know.
Okay.
In the structure of the chords, the lyrics, I'm good with the words. It's just the chords and things. I'm just like, this is just like a boring ass. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Not a novelty.
So where was I? I was just heading a certain direction. What was that? Oh, right. Let's try some Inky Pinkies.
Sweet. Yeah. Okay.
All right. If
Mhm.
you've heard this one when I said some video sometime recently, then tell me. It's a fraudulent ice melter, and it's a inkety pinkety.
Fraudulent ice melter. Ingity pingity. And it rhymes, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
oh man, you gotta hit me with this like difficult. I feel like this is a difficult one. Fraudulent micro. Wait, sorry. I was thinking of. Well, I was thinking of the word microwave, but I can't. I don't know if that's. Why is it a fraudulent ice melter?
Yeah.
This one is like not coming to me.
It's a defroster imposter.
Oh man, that's too good. Like, you
Okay,
start me off on it.
with one per
That was
me.
good. Well, I mean, all right, come up with something stupid. It took me a while to even really get into. I was just talking about is getting into like understanding this. So it's like, what is it like a like a bread warmer design square. Would be like, this sucks so bad, but and it's a inky pinky,
A toaster coaster?
almost right. Yeah, I mean, can I tell you?
Yeah, please.
Okay, yeah. Well, did you say coaster?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get to know. Yeah, toaster poster. Yeah, almost right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, a
these.
toaster coaster, I think it doesn't work quite as well as poster in terms of the clue, but it should count as the correct answer because the coaster is a design square.
It is.
You
Yeah,
put
no,
your
that's close. Yeah.
okay. I'll ask you another one.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is a tropical rainforest screw up. It's an inky pinky.
A tropical rainforest screw up. Oh my god. I'm good at these, I swear. Now, what is this? Tropical rainforest screw up, and it's you said inky pinky?
Yeah. Rachel, you think about this one, see if you can get the answer, but don't say that loud. A tropical rainforest screw up. And it's an inky pinky. And friends at home, don't be afraid to play along.
Yes, please do. You're just too good at these.
5, 4, 3.
You're gonna have to put the buzzer on me.
And Rachel, you know?
Something with jungle?
Yeah. Now you have one of the two words. Can you get it? The first word is jungle.
You said screw up or like a jungle bungle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. I'd like you to make up one more of those for me, just to round it out and make it symmetrical.
Yes, nice. It's aesthetically pleasing. All right. Well, this is based on a song name, but I guess I'll say what's the shorthand for that? Just let me think. It's like ball ball of gas, stringed instrument, and it would be a ink pinky.
Okay. Star guitar.
Yes, that was good. Yeah, you're damn good at these. Yeah. No.
Thank you. I'm saying UCJ. Okay, I feel very, very confident about your type. I think I know what it is.
Oh my god!
I
It's
believe.
like Christmas. All right.
I am very sure. In fact, I wouldn't quite call it 100,000,000% sure, but pretty close to that. That you are an ISFJ.
Okay. Wow. ISFJ, I can't even believe it. I knew that was you were gonna say that too. That was gonna be that was high up on the list of probability for what I thought you were gonna come through with. Wow.
You're a lot like, in fact, my ISFJ friend Dave Porter. And
Really?
because
That's
you're
funny.
my dual, it makes sense why your stream is my favorite place to hang out. It's
It
alpha
is a chill.
quadrant
Yeah.
comfortable. It's alpha quadrant comfortable. You and I are quadrant
Yeah.
mates. You're my dual, and when you're out there extroverting, you can look a lot like an ENTP. I was quite convinced you were an ENTP. I expect to come in here and type you as an ENTP, but you're definitely an ISFJ. Well, it's not just the TI; it's also the NE.
No.
It's fourth slot, not dominant. The fact that you shows so much creative power on the guitar, jamming out, is just proves you're is particularly musically talented ISFJ.
I suppose so. Yeah. Do you feel like?
But we have to get the NE directly, both by saying just add an element thing, and with Inky Pinkies, and just by listening to you talk this whole time, focusing on what type you are instead of just like listening to you talk when you're streaming, and I'm not really thinking about what type you are at all, But
Yeah.
it's clear you're fourth slot NE, not dominant.
Yeah. That's
And
interesting
your
though,
FE
because it's like
2, not 3.
right. It's like, how do you square that though with like this whole thing of like not being good at creative stuff or whatever?
That's
It's
not
like,
true of ISFJs. My friend Dave Porter is maybe the mirror view. He's very creative, spends most of his creative energies on music, but shows strikes of genius in his visual arts, where he's not particularly highly focused. And he got his degree in fine art from UCLA. He got his bachelor's degree in fine art. And like you,
go ahead. Yeah.
what's that?
No, I just
like you. I will go. Like you, he's not really into working a lot,
Okay. That's interesting.
He now works as a FedEx driver, and he seems to like it pretty well.
Oh my
he
gosh.
doesn't love it, but he seems to like it pretty well.
That's so funny. I mean,
but yeah, he's super creative.
I don't know that
just like you.
Yeah, I don't have. I don't like I don't strongly object to it or anything, but it's like is the FEs really that good? I mean, I can be pretty although I guess FI demonstrative is possible as well, right? So it's like, okay. It's interesting. Do you think this could explain
think about how deftly you navigated conversations with very difficult people like Michael Smith?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, no, it's just, but like in my I don't know. It's just I can be very prone to pretty ridiculous. You wouldn't think everyone thinks that I'm so chill and good and everything, and I can be really prone to anger and all that kind of thing. I mean, how do you even square that? I know one guy who's probably an ISFJ.
I swear that by saying that's FE for you, instead of being how you actually are and letting everybody know that by behaving thusly in front of them, you self-deprecatingly report on yourself in very likable fashion.
Yo, this is crazy. I've never even really looked into ISFJ at all. I have it somewhere in the middle of likelihood in terms of
you guys are fantastic. Okay, Oliver Linehand's an ISFJ. You're an ISFJ.
You're right.
My wonderful mother was an ISFJ. My longest, oldest, and best friend in every meaningful sense of the word, Dave Porter, he's an ISFJ. ISFJs are fantastic.
That's a pretty. You're right. It's in good company. You got Oliver. Oliver's pretty brilliant. You got a lot of good folks. That James Carolus dude. He's ISFJ. All of this is a consideration. I knew it was gonna be up there. I had a feeling you might tell me that. I guess. I'm just trying to think. Is there any other? Well, I just wonder. Maybe this is why I think of myself. That I keep thinking of myself as being this like INFP, and then I'm like, well, I have access to the NI, I have access to the TI. Do you ever find that? Because it's
you also validated as TE polar. I asked you what's the optimal steps? What's the optimal number of steps to break smoking a bomber I've been to? You should have been like 4 right out the gate. You gotta.
Well, I was being goofy. I was being funny.
But the thing is, the question I asked you was what's the optimal number of steps? You said, well, you got to pack the bowl. That's 1. You got to, right? And you asked your 3 people is maybe to be funny. But no, that's not answering the question. That's figuring out the answer to the question by we're calling your way through the process, right? And that suggests that because you're definitely TI front stack, that that you're missing intentionally something there, because normally you're responsive to the question asked.
I thought you said the steps to do it though, so I'm thinking of it as like
because what's the optimal number of steps? What's the optimal number of steps to do it? The fact that you answered a different question than I asked, you
okay,
as though I had prompted, walk through the steps of this, but I didn't prompt that.
That's interesting. I basically heard you say a different question, right?
But that's your blind spot. You assume people don't mean use that if they don't matter. It's like you
assume what? Sorry.
If for your polar, when somebody hits you in your polar, you're gonna mistake it for something else. So like,
okay,
when Kimberly used to hurt my feelings in a relationship, I mistake it as an argument she was making and try to vet it to see if it was consistent with my realities that I could reference examples of stuff. Mm-hmm. But what I should have, if I weren't bipolar, I would have immediately thought she's trying to hurt my feelings, and not consider whether there was accuracy to any parts of how she was hurting my feelings, That's irrelevant, The problem was she was purposely hurting my feelings. It doesn't matter if the things she was saying were accurate or not.
Yeah. But like, isn't are you thinking in terms of like TE like accurate or like TI accurate? Like
TI accurate.
yeah.
So for example, if she's going to tell me that some general term like you're so awkward, let's say, then I'm going to check, for example, try to seek back in my SI examples of me being awkward to check see if she's correct or not and affording me that status. That is the wrong kind of attention to be paying at that moment. The attention I should be paying is you're purposely hurting my feelings, and that hurts my feelings.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Yo, yeah, I see what you mean now. You're the ENTP master. Being you're vetting for accuracy. It's like, no, that's offensive, or that's insulting, right?
So the equivalent for you there is I'm hitting your TE and you are using SI and FE to work around it. You're sort of recalling the process and then stating in succession the steps, and then you're playing around with the idea of set number of steps in a funny way to make it go, but it's also a relatory TE polar. Like obviously,
I thought you asked me what steps to take. That might have been a misunderstanding.
What I'm saying is that none of the results were inconsistent with TE polar at the very least. Okay, so sure. So I feel very sure that you're an ISFJ, and especially cool ISFJ. Like all ISFJs are cool pretty much, unless you're going out with them and they're damaged, like they have happened to me. But and
they what? Sorry, I was buffering a little bit.
I said all ISFJs in general are going to be perceived as cool and are going to be liked, except if you're in a relationship with one who's got BPD, like I was, had. She was not nice to me or cool with me.
Right.
But
I know. I'm hearing you mention her. I'm like, oh, geez, right? But no, yeah, I hear that though. Yeah, that's crazy. I know. I had it like sort of. I had a feeling it might come up, but I don't mind. I'm gonna look into it a little bit and sort of start wearing it, trying it on. You know what I mean? From the man himself, right?
You also play more in general as a receiving type than as an action type. Your depth and breadth of knowledge of movies reminds me of Rachel, although Rachel's taste aren't as arty as yours. But who did I used to go see art movies with all the time when I was a teenager? Dave Porter, my ISFJ friend. He was always like down to go see. Yeah, he's the guy I saw Whitnell and I with in Tampoco.
Nice. Nice. I'll get that queued up. Yeah. So I want to watch that. That's cool. That's very cool. I mean, I don't mind the thank you for doing the type. I appreciate it. That's great.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and that relationship with media, like sort of it being a central point in how you like to have your attention engaged, and you have being a bit, not just a bit, an expert, I'd say, on movies. That's much more consistent. That's much more consistent with a receiving type than with an action type.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I like to engage with all this stuff very like actively, but yeah, I mean, it's I mean, does that make sense? I hate when everyone always says that, but because I don't know about you, but I like to engage with the thing like and try to just be like this thing and I like that and this I don't like that, and you know how it is, how I go off about these things. But no, yeah, I mean, because I just stereotypically, right, you would think of an ISFJ as being like receiving the thing as is or something,
No,
you're right though. When you see some of these people like James and whatnot, he's like very good with the films and all of that. Interesting.
Receiving it just as it is much more of an INFJ gig. Receiving it as it is and knowing what it means without speculative possibilities of what it might mean. That's an INFJ thing.
Yeah.
So it's a different kind of receiving. You're both receivers, but you engage with the things you receive through a different knowing function.
Right. This is like this other thing that I've seen, and then and I'm elaborating on the, the possibility there of it be speculation and all of that. That's funny.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I guess I'll stop this recording and think I can publish it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we'll see what the people think. I appreciate you finally doing this. It's great to come on here. I'll stay coming on the stream and all that.
Absolutely. It's an absolute joy to chat with you, CJ. I just want to say one last thing before I finish the recording. I predict that Jeff Shaw is going to type you as ESTJ. I'm going to go with that one.
Amazing. Just completely in the opposite direction, right? It's like, we'll see.
There's one type I guarantee you Jeff Shaw will not type you as asterisk ISFJ.
I know it's interesting. It's interesting how that works.
The asterisk is unless he tries to prove me wrong because of me saying this right here.
We get right. It's this postscript. I know you shouldn't have let him in on the tip here, but
all right.
We'll see.
Well, cool.
We'll see what the rest has.
Nice
all right. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Rachel.
Myself, and I'm looking forward to seeing the chat too. I'll publish it like in an hour or two. As soon as it's done processing, I'll upload it. As soon as it's done, and then when it's uploaded, I'll schedule it for like 30 minutes after that.
Nice, sweet, very exciting. All right,
cool,
awesome.
Later days.
All right, thanks, guys. Thank you, appreciate it. Peace out, guys.